there are certain tracks that have more prominence for NASCAR than others, are more important for the sport than others. And not to discredit some of the mile and a halves on the schedule, which are fantastic venues and have produced very good racing. But NASCAR was in a better spot, frankly, when those races were the ones that were kind of iffy. And then the tracks at the venues that tend to sell the most tickets, have the most history tied with the sport. Daytona, Talladega, Bristol, Martinsville were all certified bangers every time the cars were on the track. Now it's the opposite, where you're just grasping at straws that, tracks like Kansas are going to produce great racing, which I'm confident they will again next week. But when you have these venues that are supposed to sell out thousands and thousands of seats, that have been staples of the schedule for 75 years, and they just don't produce the racing that NASCAR fans have come to expect, there is a complete logical reason for fans to be very frustrated. And I think NASCAR is in a worse position when those are the tracks that aren't producing the best, because eventually we are going to see the Richmond treatment for some of these other tracks. If the product for the Premier Series isn't improved at short tracks and super speedways, we're going to see fewer fans coming out to these historic venues because they're not expecting much from the product. And that would be a very sad thing to see for NASCAR, because then it becomes financially disadvantageous for them to continue going to these tracks multiple times per year.
NASCAR just can't cut a break with this car. Just imagine how good the next-gen car would have been a few years ago, Eddie. Like, just Chicagoland, Kentucky, all these mile and a halves, and you're barely going to road courses. The mile and a half and super speedways outweigh the short tracks. I don't know how NASCAR just makes a car at the completely wrong time.